this is Arthur Nix with EWKS, and today I want to talk to you about a critical concept in HeavyBid. Now, when I say critical, this is one of the things that I see a lot of misunderstanding on. You could use this HeavyBid for 10 years and not understand the difference between system-wide material and local material. However, you can also make some serious mistakes if you don't understand this. Now, this is a way that I kind of test people, their knowledge of HeavyBid. I have a few questions that I can ask. I'm not going to tell you all of them, but one of them is, where is your material stored? And the answer that I get, unfortunately, many times is it's stored in the master estimate, which isn't really true unless you're referring to the local materials. So we're going to go through this little PowerPoint presentation and go over the difference here. So you see here that there's two menus in HeavyBid. You got your estimate and system-wide. And in the setup, the only two things that are duplicated is the material codebook. There is no local activity codebook. There's no local bid item codebook. Now, there's local bid items, but not a bid item codebook. The only single database that's duplicated is the material. Okay, material / subs, other, everything's stored in these two that is non-labor, non-equipment. Okay, that's what I mean by material codebook. All right, so HeavyBid structure, master estimate, and system-wide materials. So those are the two databases. Those are the two areas where databases are stored. All right, so what's stored in the master estimate? Equipment, labor, crews, calendar, overtime rules, bond tables. Also things like markups, add-ons, all those things that are unique to a master estimate or an estimate is stored in the master estimate. That way you can set up do a lot of pre-setups in your master estimate so you don't have to keep repeating them over and over in your new estimate. Now, in the system, you got your activity codebook, bid item codebook, material codebook, and there's other things like the vendor business contact system if you have the advanced and comprehensive versions, quote folders again if you have the two upper versions, and there's other things too that are stored in the system-wide data, and you just unfortunately there's not like a list, and maybe that's something I can get working on to have like like an overview Word document that has what's in local and what's in system-wide. I think that would help people. But those are the things stored right there in the system-wide. Okay, so what happens when you create an estimate is everything copies over when you create a new estimate. All right, so everything comes over. All those databases come over. But once it's created, there's no talking back to the master estimate. It stops. All right, so whatever you do in the estimate, it stands alone. It doesn't connect to any other estimate. So if you update your new estimate, nothing else gets updated. Okay, I'm talking about at the local level. Now, system-wide data. What happens here is it copies on demand. So if I bring in like a material, it copies it into the local codebook of the estimate, okay? And if I bring in an activity, it copies that into the estimate. Now, if I change something in my estimate, it doesn't go back, okay? So there's no flow of information out of an estimate. All right, so that's a very important concept there. Every estimate stands alone, and I emphasize that. All right, let's look at the kind of the HeavyBid structure here. I got a master estimate, I got a system, and I got another master estimate. And you can see that when I copy things from different masters, it's going to, you're going to bring that into different estimates. All right, where's the data stored? Okay, here's the example of the material codebook, and here's estimate 1. So I have 18-inch RCP, let's see which one they're using here. The 30-inch RCP. Okay, I'm going to bring that into my master estimate, and it brings it into my local code book, because it only makes sense that I have to have a local code book because I need to change a price, but I can't change. I don't want the price to change in my system-wide. I want to remain 70. So this is a very, early in the development of HeavyBid, this was an important design. So in your system, your estimate 1, I have 30-inch RCP at $68.50. I changed it because I got a quote for $68.50. All right, estimate 2, same material. I bring it over. It's $70. It copies it into my local, and I leave it at 70. So that is an explanation of the local and system-wide. So while I'm training and people say, oh, the master material, I correct them right away, because what this does is this just leads to concepts or understandings that just aren't true, and that will hurt you as you continue forward in HeavyBid. Now, there is a local code book, but that is unique to that estimate. You don't store all your materials in the master. It is in the system-wide. All right, so this is Arthur Nix with EWKS. I hope this helps your understanding of HeavyBid. And like I said again, local material, system-wide material are the only two databases that are duplicated in HeavyBid.